The exact quote from his Instagram is, sat down with Kirk Cousins, told me despite playing under the franchise tag, he wants to remain with the Redskins his entire career. So JP doesn't believe him. He says he's just saying that. That's fine. I've always thought it was a little weird that everyone just assumed he can't wait to hightail it out of here. I know that he's been disrespected 100%. I know that they have lowballed him 100%. I don't even think they've made a real offer here in the last 3 or 4 years. But why would you race out of here? The team's giving you $44 million. There's a chance you can make another 36 potentially in 1 year next year if they franchise you again, which I wouldn't rule it out. Salary cap's going to continue to go up if he has another good year. He's had all of his success here. All of it's been under, or at least half of it's been under Jay Gruden as the head coach here. I always think the devil you know better than the devil you don't know. So I actually believe him. I take him at face value.
I want to believe him because he always seems like an honest, genuine guy when he's on with Grant and Danny here on The Fan. And look, I'm sure he'd be happy to take $36 million from the Redskins if they wanted to franchise tag him for next season. But I think part of him wants to explore playing in a different city, playing for a different owner, maybe playing for a franchise that isn't so dysfunctional, having the opportunity to choose where he plays instead of continuing on the one-year deals. I think he'd like to play elsewhere, and I think he's just being political.
I think so, too. If he really wanted to stay, all he had to do was return a call. From all reports is that they didn't even return an offer. There was no counter offer.
It's not the time to do it.
Okay.
He's going to have even more leverage.
But if he really wanted to do a deal, he could have done a deal.
But he's not desperate.
Of course he's not desperate.
So why?
And he wants to see how it plays out. And he talked about it. I do believe when he said year to year.
Right, but in a perfect world, he would hope it works out and he could stay here. See, I believe that.
Maybe so, but when you say I want to be with the Redskins for my entire career, you can make that happen. He could have made it happen.
Yeah, but he'd like to if all things being equal.
Not to really even explore it.
Look, because he doesn't need to. He's here for a year, and then he'll
didn't really explore it.
Yeah, but
he could have said, "This is a deal. This is a deal right now." Even if the Redskins, if you knew the Redskins were rejected, he said, "This is a deal which I will sign," and he sends it to the Redskins. But he didn't even do that.
But he doesn't need to, and here's why. Because what if all hell breaks loose?
But that tells me that he doesn't really, deep down, he's not dying to be with the Redskins the rest of his career.
No, what it tells you is that the circumstances have to be right, obviously. If there's turmoil, they go 2-14, Dan loses his mind and blows out the staff, well, then maybe he doesn't want to be here. So why that? Wait, there's literally no pressure. I guarantee he and his agent have a big insurance policy, right, that'll protect them against injury. Play out this year. You've made $44 million. There's going to be a boatload of other cash on the table there if they decide to franchise or transition you. The long-term deal money is going to be significant. There's no reason to rush into it. See how the season plays out. Make sure they have the personnel you like. But I take him as saying, listen, if things work out, all things being equal, and I have good receivers and I have good offensive line and coaches here I respect, of course I want to remain here.
I just think he's been treated,
I believe that.
He's been treated shabbily outside of the money he's gotten paid over the last couple of years by the organization. He's never had the full support of Snyder and Bruce Allen.
That's true.
He knows that. So why they have never committed to him? Why would he want to commit to them? Unless they just overpay him.
Because they keep paying him. Because they keep paying him, and he's had remarkable success here.
Right, he's done very well. And I feel like he should have been locked up to a long-term deal a year and a half or 2 years ago. The Redskins
they botched it.
Fumbled that away.
Right, they botched it.
And now they're faced with, we have to either pay him $36 million or he basically just walks.
He's right where I
expected him to be. He's in a great spot.
And he should use it.
I expected him to long. Well, he's right where I thought he would be after all that talk during the season, in the off season. The deal is he's not free. He's not free. They can keep slapping the tag on him, at least for one more year.
Yeah.
I think at some point he wants to test the market. He wants to go out and see what's available. He's not dying to be with the Redskins. I don't think he cares really to be with the Redskins for his entire career. He's just saying it because it's the right thing to say.
He's got great options. He either gets tagged at $36 million to play one more season here, or he goes out on the market and picks his situation.
Right.
It's all coming up roses for Kirk Cousins.
It is. It's a brilliant spot, but I don't.
It's just like a
I don't
politician.
discount this idea that he'd be perfectly happy remaining a Redskin. There's this sort of notion that he can't wait to hightail it out of here, and I reject that.
No, it's possible he could end up with the Redskins, but I don't think it's something that he's like got down, like this is my goal. I want to be with the Redskins for the rest of my career, because he could make that happen.
It's not his end-all, be-all, but I think he'd be perfectly happy playing his entire career here. I think that's what he's saying. I'd be perfectly happy if all things work out.
I think what he's saying is what a politician says, for example, that you know is going to run for president, but they haven't said they're going to run for president because they're still a senator or governor and they're supposed to be doing their job. So what they always say is, I haven't thought about that yet. I'm not really going to entertain that right now. I'm focused on my job and helping the people of fill in the state.
Well, if you equate it to a politician, then you have literally no regard for his word at all. So that might be true.